Greetings, ladles, jelly spoons, and all other non-binary kitchen utensils. This is Gravy Wheels, like it is every single week. I'm your host, Andrew.
Never missed a week.
Never missed a fucking month.
Never missed a season. Hi.
Oh, hola.
Buenos nachos, por favor.
What is that?
It's a Moscow Mule in a can.
Jesus Christ. It's noon on a Wednesday okay. I'm the only one. That's non-alcoholic.
That's right, baby.
Yeah. So,
I also have been up for over 26 hours right now, so.
October 26th hours? That's awful. What do you people do with your lives? What's up? What's new?
That's a trick question. I don't have one.
Okay, let's find some way to get into having a conversation here.
Okay.
What games are you playing?
Good question. I 100%ed Tinykin. Mm-hmm. And that game is a lot of fun. I'm trying to remember back the last time we did a podcast. I don't think we've talked about it.
No.
But it's really similar to I'm drawing a blank on the game that it's loosely formatted after. What's that game?
You played it.
Yeah, but I never played
Paper
the
Mario?
original one. No.
Pikmin.
Yeah, it's a very similar to a Pikmin game.
Oh, I just guessed.
I think. I don't know. I've never played the original Pikmin, but just from seeing some of the stuff, I don't know. It's cool. There's like little different dudes, and you get them, and then the dudes do different little things, and it's a collectathon. And I went hard in the paint. You know, I every once in a while a collectathon kind of sucks us in, and then other than that, doing a little bit of Dreamlight Valley. Had some quest issues though, so not super excited about those.
Some
Slime Rancher 2?
Some what issues? Quest issues?
Quest issues, yeah. So like it'll be like one of the Scrooge quests, you know. I'm trying to think of which one it was like craft 3 flower pots or some shit like that.
Yeah, there was like 7 different fucking quests that got broken off the start. And
nice.
You had to quest like 2 flower pots and put them outside the Scrooge McDuck store, and that's the one that busted on you.
And you only have like enough items to make those 2 things those 2 times. And then if the quest doesn't trigger and is like, hey, you did it, then you're just fucked on Scrooge's quests.
That's fun.
Yeah. And, so had to restart twice because of that. Frank found, a workaround, but haven't tried it yet because it was kind of one of those things that like already lost some interest. And then Slime Rancher 2 came out, which the wife and I were pretty excited about because we 100%ed the first one. But the thing is that they fucked up on the release, I think, because it made sense for the first one. It was an indie game. No one really knew if anybody was going to like it, so they dropped it on early access on Steam and Xbox. And but then it was like a pretty big success, enough to like greenlight a second game, and they tried to release the second one the same way, and it's an early access game, and like Slime Rancher is a grind-a-thon game. Like it's just one of those games where you just have to put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into it just to progress the game. And it's an early access game, so eventually, when they like actually release the full release and more content, you just have to completely lose all of that grind. And furthermore, there's no achievements for it. So like, at least, you know, and a lot of those achievements are like, again, things you have to put dozens of hours into before you can get an achievement. So, because your mindset is like, well, this is grindy, it's early access, but at least I'm like working towards something.
Yeah.
But you're not. You know, you're going to lose all that grind, and you're not even grinding towards an achievement. So like, we were immediately just kind of like, why are we playing this when we could just play other shit? You know. So
that brings me up with 2 points. I also like got really hard in the paint on fucking Disney's Dreamlight Valley, and we're going to talk about that. But another thing is that games are coming out now where they're on early access on the console, and it's like developers are just taking longer and longer and longer to like, well, this is our finished product. So they're basically using everybody at home to be their fucking playtesters and find their bugs out. And it's kind of fucking stupid that they do that. I get why they do that, but it's...
I would almost rather it be the old school demo format where it was like, you have an hour to play the game, and then it just stops you. Like, you remember when demos used to do that? I'd almost rather that. So then I go into it knowing like, I know,
fucked with that on PlayStation a lot.
But I'd almost rather go into it knowing like, all right, you know, I get to just check this game out for an hour, figure out what it's all about. The devs are still getting their feedback analytically or whatever. And then, you know, there's no like commitment to it. I know that at the end of that hour I'm going to lose my shit. I don't know. I guess it's just a mindset thing because I could do the same thing with like a no reigns early access, but
I have like very distinct memories of being a kid and playing the Saints Row 2 demo, I think, like over and over again, just like endlessly.
I did it with, I think it was either Twisted Metal or one of the Ace Combats. There was one that had like a hard like 40-minute demo time or something like that. Yeah, I would play it over and over and over.
Was there not, correct me if I'm wrong, was there not a PlayStation demo disc that came in a magazine that had like a multiplayer of like Vigilante 8 or a Twisted Metal game where you could play multiplayer?
Online or?
No. It was just on one console, like split screen.
I'm pretty sure Twisted Metal 4 was, you could play split screen.
I think before that, but just on the demo, on the demo disc, you could play like a multiplayer level, and like you and a friend could play split screen, and you only had like access to 4 of like the 12 cars, and only.
It's hard to remember because obviously there was AI too, so I don't know if I remember playing against buddies or just AI.
Well, I think you need to collect every single PlayStation demo disc.
I'm pretty close already, so, you know, there's that. I'm just going to have a huge flat screen TV. We got to get one of those flat screen TVs that weighs like as much as a Prius, and we'll put it down in my basement and just hook up a PlayStation to it.
One of those
and just have a CD case full of demo discs, and that's the only games that we have out for people.
Oh, you're talking like a big old flat CRTs, one of those flat...
Yeah. One of like the tubes we have to replace.
I was thinking of the rear projection.
No, those nasty
sit on your floor.
No, those nasty back projection TVs were gross. They never looked good. They never looked good at all.
When we were landing Halo 2, those days, that's whenever those were finally starting to phase out. And I remember there was like a guy in Warrensburg giving away one for free, and it was like, you just have to come and get it. And we damn near went and got it. Because it was so tempting, you know. Like, we knew how much of a pain in the ass those things are, but we're like, dude, but each guy, we'll play 4-player split screen on this bitch, and each person's gonna have like a 32-inch TV still, you know.
But they were fuzzy as fuck. They didn't have like...
Yeah, they sucked.
All right.
Yeah, no.
I've got something else I need to talk about besides how good, like, a Sony Trinitron flat screen is compared to a rear projection TV. Fucking Dreamlight Valley, I think I've got like 60 or 70 fucking hours of that bullshit goddamn game. It is like the new Animal Crossing. It is just like COVID happened again, and I'm staying at home because I don't got a day job anymore, really. You know what I mean? So I'm just sitting here like just farming and shit and collecting stuff. It's just like fucking Animal Crossing New Horizons, but it's better.
I don't know why it didn't suck me in quite that hard, but I just had a hard time caring. You know, like whenever I was doing the early quests and stuff. I don't know. Because Animal Crossing, so going into Animal Crossing, start of COVID,
you had never played one.
I hadn't played any Animal Crossing. Yeah. But I don't know if it was just the mindset of that time, because everybody was like so... Like, as much as we say we weren't, like, there was quite a bit of fear in the air. You didn't know what was going to happen. It was kind of some wild times. So I think it was just, like, that perfect mind escape of, like, fuck it, I'm just going to sit here and play this dumb Animal Crossing shit for hours on end. And I got really sucked into that, not having any Animal Crossing experience. And yeah, Dreamlight Valley is, like, the exact same fucking thing. I don't know, I had a hard time caring.
I have fully made. I've unlocked every single biome, and I have my orchard, where I get all my money at, is completely optimized. I make about 30,000 gold an hour.
Dude, it reminds me of the turnip stonks. I remember we had like group chats. We had group chats dedicated to like, we had a spreadsheet and everybody would put their turnip prices for the day on there. And if you had the highest prices,
friends going over your place.
Yeah, you'd have everybody coming over to your island and selling their turnips, and you'd like, all right, and then you'd like give them a cut of your sale price, you know, because like, well, your market's so good, I'll leave you 10% on the floor.
So they'll leave you like 35,000 gold on the floor, and they pick up your.
And then there was websites. We were doing that. We were doing our spreadsheet, our little group chat for a while, just with my friends and stuff. And then we found that there was websites, and people would just post their, post their rate or whatever, and then their little island code. And you would go, they'd have like queues set up to their island and shit, and like specific spots to drop the loot. It was fucking nuts, dude. Nuts.
The stalk market.
They're so good, man.
Animal Crossing's New Horizons was great. Disney Dreamlight Valley is good. It's got some different other quirks to it. You can't go to other people's islands, and there's no variable like stock market. There's no.
Yeah. I have. Surely they will, though. They were probably just getting it out to see what people think, and since it's been a pretty big success, like surely they're going to have some more features like that are going to come that they'll know, like the Animal Crossing crowd is going to love.
I have to wait until the next update, whenever they bring a new Disney character in, to like progress any further in it. Like I've got it. It's a goddamn fucking waste of time, I'll tell you what.
I think they did the fishing a little bit better than Animal Crossing. I kind of liked it. There you go. What a good little boy. Yeah, I didn't know if you guys were going to have gardens or anything. You know, I know Frank's got a little bit of a green thumb. But I that was a drunk purchase that I had to get, not only for myself, but I had to share with you guys. So.
I live in a... concrete
urban jungle
hellhole. So
hey, I can make you something to grow things in.
I don't want it.
Hold on,
I don't care.
Oh no,
I'm not interested. So I don't care.
You just need like one potted plant over there just for your xenomorph snail.
He just lives on my desk next to my lion cat and Michael Myers and some Godzillas, and
that works too. I mean, yeah, I knew it would fit in with your like desk items if it wasn't something that actually went into a garden. I've got mine just sitting on my like front porch, and I'm waiting for like a delivery guy to be like, "The fuck is that?" That's pretty cute.
That's cute.
Isn't that fucking adorable?
I do like that.
It's a 3D.
Except you need to put like a succulent in there, like a aloe plant or something, so it actually looks like oddish.
Well, like an aloe vera. That'd look, yeah.
Yeah, like an aloe.
Well, that's fucking darling. Fuck you.
I mean, it's still no. I'm not trying to. I'm sorry, I ruined your day. I just make another one.
19 hour print.
Hey, Katie's been wanting to get a couple plants, and her birthday's coming up. Just saying, Frank.
When's Katie's birthday?
I don't. I know it, but I don't know if that's like public on her profile or whatever. Yeah, but I'll let you know afterwards. Yeah,
fair enough.
It's October.
My birthday, October.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
20 y ocho.
What?
Nobody speaks fucking Spanish.
28.
It's not. Ocho.
28.
It's not for me.
I took Spanish. I learned so much, dude.
Do you remember our Spanish teacher also taught the gifted class?
Yes, he did.
And he tried to bring in a cookie pan once with dirt and water in it to tell us that continental drift doesn't exist.
I remember that. Oh, yeah. Yep, that happened. That was good times, man.
God.
And we all knew that continental drift was like a thing. He just used a cookie pan with like dirt and water in it. Just like, no, it doesn't. Look at this.
It was just so funny how quickly he gave up on teaching that class. Because we all got in there because we tested over a certain percentage on, I don't even remember what test they said. and which there was like intelligent people in there. We were like, okay, yeah, that checks out.
And then me and Nova were in there.
We're like, what happened here? Who? But no one like really questioned it too much because it was just a dick around class anyways, and we knew that. But he like started off, I remember one of the first things he told us to do was just to like build something, and it was just like very vague. He was just like, build whatever you want. And I remember I took like a Lego pirate ship, and I like put a fucking, I bought like some cheap ass Dollar General, like a remote control boat, and I took all like the motor out.
And
of
you had to put it in front of the class and show everybody too.
Yeah,
so
he showed like a show and tell of whatever.
He showed this to everybody.
What did you make? I don't remember anything other than that's what I made.
That was the class where I actually got kicked off the school's computers for a fiscal year, not like a semester. like they kicked me off.
At least you had a home computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to school in the days, for those of you that may not be our age, we went to school in the days where they would still, like, they would assign homework or, like, a project or something, and they'd be like, you know, if you don't have access, like, the conversation would always end with, like, you need to research this on your own, blah, 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 if you don't have access to a computer at home,
A
like, let us know.
court-appointed computer will be provided to you.
Yeah, like, we'll give you computer time at school. And even that was, like, brand new. We just got, like, a laptop cart, and we thought that shit was, like, the holy grail.
Meanwhile,
they were, like, the shittiest laptops ever.
Jesus Christ. We had a computer and I was already programming in C and C++, and then they gave us computers at school, and that was a bad idea.
That was a bad idea.
My first computer was a Packard Bell Multimedia Center.
Would you use, like, command prompt to just send a message to every user, right?
Well, I did it...
Essentially?
Basically, yeah. I pulled up the network administrator's servers thing through the command prompt and sent something out, apparently, to the high school and the elementary school.
But, so, when you were doing that, did you know that you were sending it to, like, every system?
No, I figured shit would be locked down. That's like standard protocol. Like, no, you don't allow that. I thought it was fucking...
You think that they were going to spend any money on IT? Like, someone to set up their computers properly? Fuck no.
Dude, I remember... Do you remember the trick? Because I was on, like, the yearbook committee and stuff, so we were supposed to be in there, like, working on the yearbook, but we would always just get on, like, Newgrounds and stuff and play Flash games, and I remember they put a firewall up where they blocked all the websites we were playing games, but we found out that all you had to do was go, if it was like newgrounds.com, you would just put %20 somewhere, which is like the HTML code for a space or something. Yeah. And it would work, it would get right around the firewall was dog shit. And every time they would like update it, we would find out some other thing. You could just like alter the URL slightly and it would still get you there, and then we'd be able to, I remember like me and Nick and a bunch of the other guys, we would sit there and play Kitten Cannon every fucking day, and it was like everybody would keep high scores, and we would try to beat each other's high scores on Kitten Cannon.
I remember like the first time I saw Goatsy was at school too.
I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the peak internet of like our age.
And then
that shit would never happen now.
The thing on it was on like Rotten, or it was on Newgrounds. It was "Come, Mr. Taliban."
Yeah, I remember
that. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's a rough part of fucking adolescent history there, huh? That's problematic.
I was doing a crossword the other day that referenced Keyboard Cat, and I was like, my internet.
The good old days, man. Back when, like, the Facebook games first popped up and shit, like Mafia Wars or whatever, and...
Drug Wars was way before that. Drug Wars was the shit, and then they put that shit on Facebook, and then they turned it into, like, Farmville.
I remember in college, that's what all the kids were doing. I mean, all of my, like, people I lived with in the dorms were, like, setting their alarms to 4 a.m. to harvest their fucking strawberries or whatever.
Good times, man. Good times.
Sad.
Yeah.
Fucking
Try
Goatsy.
moderating forums
Yeah.
on fucking a modem.
Oh, yeah.
Try seeing Goatsy the first time in your high school library.
What is that? I'm so curious now.
Dude, there's no way that you've been on the internet for as long as you have and you've never seen it.
I mean, maybe I have, and I just don't know by the name, but explain. Or can you?
I'll explain it. I don't care. It's a still image of a gentleman bent over backwards, and you see his butthole is facing the camera, and he's got hands in it, pulling it open like this.
Oh my god!
See
I don't
right
think I've
up in
seen
there.
that.
See right up into the gunning
Yeah,
works.
you've seen it.
All right, Jesus.
You can see his fucking brainstem.
It's probably, like, you probably had that as your profile pic whenever you were toxic in the Modern Warfare 2 fucking lobbies back in the day.
I was never toxic. That's actually a myth. I never did any of that stuff. So
It's Ghosty is from the same era of internet as like Tub Girl and Lemon Party.
no Lemon Party and Meat Spin. I remember those for sure.
This predates that.
Tub Girl is older than these, I think, but
Okay.
This is way before those two fine gals and that one mug.
You seen that Netflix documentary about the most hated man on the internet or whatever?
no.
Oh, it's pretty interesting. It was
Not
like
that
an
you don't
era
fuck
of the
with
internet
cats,
that I
but
don't
it's the other
remember.
guy.
Yeah, it was a guy that had isanyoneUp.com or something like that. And it was like you would go on there and submit, like after you broke up, you would like get on there and submit all your ex's nudes. But he would like link it to their like social media, like to their Facebook. So it was like
that's doxing.
pictures
That's criminal.
associated.
That's
Yeah.
felonies.
That's what the whole documentary is about. It's really interesting. And then a lot of the people that were getting on the website are like, I never even sent that to anybody. I don't know how he got it. So then it's like, is he hacking to get this stuff and then posting it? It's a pretty good doc. I recommend the watch. On that note, I don't know if you guys are watching Dahmer, but
Yeah,
a lot of people talking about it.
It's really good. The problem is I get an awkward boner every single episode.
Totally
so
understand.
I stopped like episode
Yeah.
4, but it's...
I do want to say though, I don't really understand. Like, I saw a lot of people are like, I had to turn it off, man. It was too much, and like certain episode blah 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 was just I couldn't. And it's like, I get it because they do it a little bit different. Like they try to like make your anxiety just go nuts the way they do it. It's really well done. Like they spend more time highlighting things that other just hack and slash, docuseries or whatever would do it. But I don't understand these people that are like, I had to turn it off. It's too much. Bunch of soft pussies out there.
It's because you've been desensitized by the internet because you played Cat Cannon and then you jerked off to Goatsy for like
But it's
14 years old to 24.
dude, if these people think that if these people are having a hard time watching Dahmer, watch a single episode of YMH Live and let me know how your fucking life is after that shit.
I'll never do that again for your birthday.
Yeah.
I think
we sat around and watched YMH Live for my birthday, Andrew. I don't know if you're familiar with what that is, but
It
basically
wasn't the
Tom
plan.
Segura... Yeah, Tom Segura basically just shows like the craziest shit that he can find on the internet and shows it on his live show with a comedian guest. And we saw some unspeakable things that day for my birthday. We were eating bone marrow, too. I made a bunch of bone marrow. And we're sitting there scraping bone marrow out of the bone and putting it on bread, like on little baguette chips that I baked in the oven while we're watching like a dude shove a pair of scissors down his... Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
But we also had 4 Xbox Series S's laid out on the table, and we got to play some Halo against each other, all squatted up. And I had my Xbox Series X with my screen, which is different. But we had
it was pretty epic.
We had 5 fucking Xboxes with flip-up screens sitting outside. Fucking,
it was like a new age
LAN party.
Yeah. It was pretty badass.
Pretty fucking
Future
dope.
is here.
And we ate bone marrow and watched people mutilate themselves.
Also, it's important to note that those little portable Series S's, not even like, well, Frank was on an X, I think, right?
Yeah,
You were on an X?
I brought mine over. Yeah, I got a screen.
And then I had 4 S's, but all those didn't have any problem running it. And we were playing on Starlink internet, and we were like hopping into games online. I'm not saying it was like flawless, but I mean, it was damn sure better than like what we grew up with, like high school and shit before a couple of you guys had like high speed internet and everything. It was. Well, I was pretty fucking surprised. I was like, yeah, I'll just pull all these out. We'll have some fun, play some Halo, chilling on the deck. And it was a great fucking time, man. Fucking the future. It's crazy.
Did you keep that a piece of tannerite paper for a scrapbook?
No, I did not. I forgot about that. I think I threw it away the next day when I cleaned up.
Y'all scrapbooking?
Well,
shit, girl. You know this. We've always been scrapbooking.
We set up.
There's hoarding and there's scrapbooking. I think that you're more the former.
What are you talking about? This isn't hoarding. This is a high functioning collector.
We both literally had like a small jug of tannerite, and then like our first or second shots each. We nailed, and we went right through the top. We didn't go through the tannerite. We went through the fucking cap and through the fucking paper.
We hit the lid. Yeah.
Yeah, we went through the lid, and we, like, cut the sealant paper in half. Like I did it, and you did it.
If you tried to do.
Yeah.
I just remember Frank walking out to place tannerite while it was raining. Just walking through the field with a canister of tannerite. That's how my birthday went. It was pretty epic, dude.
It's pretty cool.
Have you been playing any crazy games lately, Andrew? What have you been playing? How far did you get into Shipbreaker?
I got a decent way into Shipbreaker. I'm getting ships now that are like 6 or 7 on the like hazard scale. Yeah, that game's really good. That game's good as fuck. It's really enjoyable to play. For people who don't know, it's like you exist in this like 0G space facility, and basically all you do is come out into the bay, float around in 0G, and take apart ships with like your welding guns and you have like a grav pistol kind of thing that like helps you move scrap around, and it's awesome. Because if you have to be careful about like nipping fuel lines and making sure that you dump the fuel first, or you're going to set the whole ship on fire. Sometimes it's like you have to depressurize cabins and stuff too. It's like it's just really good, like problem solving fun. Yeah, that game rocks.
And they pulled off the 0G movement really well, from what I can tell. Yeah. And it can be a little bit too much sometimes. Like if you accidentally like push against something that you can't properly move, you don't have the rating for. Like, you'll just, like, fly off out into, like, nowhere and be like, I'm gonna fucking freeze to death.
Or if you depressurize a hole wrong and you get, like, fucking flung out of it, it can be pretty gnarly. Yeah, that game rules. Spent a lot of time in the Modern Warfare 2 beta, which I know.
Oh, yeah.
Dingus did, too, here.
I did that, too, yeah. It's good times. I didn't spend as much time as I'd like. I would have liked to have gotten to level 30. The way they do these betas now is that they're timed so weird. It gets confusing on what consoles are even, available at the time. And then, and it's always just weekends. And like, nowadays I play less stuff on the weekends than I do the weekdays. So I think I played it 2 different weekends. I played like Friday and then didn't play it again.
Yeah.
Basically.
Wasn't it like the weekend, like the PlayStation got it first, and then that shut down, and then they went to the Xbox and PC beta for like 4 days or 5 days?
Well,
they do it.
How do they do
that? The PlayStation one was up the whole time. It was the first one to go up, and it basically was like the PlayStation kind of got like almost 2 weeks, I think, and then other platforms got like 1.
Wow.
But then they still do it to where, like, even the PlayStation, I think, like, the first one is only people who have early access and pre-order. And then, like, the second 2 days of the first 4 days are just, like, anybody on PlayStation can play it, and they do the same thing on Xbox and PC. So and then the whole time that, that's going on, Sony's bitching about Xbox buying Call of Duty and having exclusive things. So, fuck Sony.
I think
I'm sick of this Call of Duty beta shit that's been going on for, like, 4 years. We'll see.
Another weird thing about exclusivity is EA no longer has the exclusivity for all the Star Wars games.
Thank God.
So there's 8 games right now in development for Star Wars. They want to do 2 games a year, a AAA game and then a smaller game. Every single year they want to do that. They've got 8 games burning right now that we are confirmed of. And then there's probably going to be like a Mandalorian MMO or ORG, whatever. There's going to be like a Mandalorian game too. There's like 3 other things that have been rumored about that are basically confirmed that they didn't officially announce. But they can do all of that now that they don't have exclusivity with EA.
Yeah, but do they not understand how quickly they're going to fucking burn people out? Like, if you make that many Star Wars games... Because we're just slightly traumatized in the fact that, like, most Star Wars games have been hot garbage for a really, really long time now. So, I don't know. I'm really worried that this is just going to be more of that. It's just going to be, using the license for cash grabs and not making anything that's worth a shit.
Yeah.
All the Battlefront games have been, like, decent. Especially because they were developed, like, in part with DICE. And you had, like, all the, like, the fancy... Like, it felt really good. Those were good. KOTOR. The KOTOR remaster is going to be fucking great. And people are going to fucking buy that just for... People buy that to play on your fucking mobile device. Because it's already been ported to that.
The Battlefront games are good, especially, like, the design of them. But don't forget about how badly they fucked up all the monetization stuff.
And it's really super grindy, and it was
a huge,
progression,
huge mess.
I feel like if there was any decent progression in those games, I would have put a decent amount of time in. Because I played a decent amount of them. Like, when you loaded into those maps, just because DICE developed it, the sound design and everything, and visually, I mean, those games were fucking great. Like AT-ATs walking around and just pew-pews all around and shit, and you could get Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and actually fight as them and shit. There was a lot of potential there. I need that Call of Duty grind where it's like leveling up and unlocking weapons and attachments and this and that. I gotta have something to, like, play for.
It's important too that stuff moves at the right clip, because if you get stuck in one of those games that's like, you like the game, but the pass is just like a grind, unlocking stuff takes fucking forever. It's like it becomes so frustrating so fast.
I think a lot of these games are forgetting that there's 900 games a year that come out that are actually, like, worthwhile to play. And if you're not a uber fucking Star Wars nerd, for instance, then you don't want to do that 90-hour grind to unlock shit. You just want to play it a little more casually, but still progress.
That's kind of where I'm at with multiverses right now. I've been playing it a fair amount off and on, but the Battle Pass progress it feels too slow. It feels really slow. If you aren't doing their missions or whatever, and you're just playing the game sort of straight away, you could probably play, 15 matches to go up one level in the Battle Pass.
Battle Passes are fucking terrible for that reason alone.
Yeah.
You just have to be... It's the worst for... You're just like, I want to casually experience this. Other than, I always go back to Master Chief Collection. They've got a pretty good system where it's like, here's the last 8 seasons of content, and you're unlocking these points as you go, and you can go and get content from any one of those 8 seasons as you please. Other than, it's like, you have to get X amount of the first tier before you can go to the next. So it's still not perfect, but at least you have, like, all those different seasons to go back and just kind of thumb through as you please.
No, that makes sense to have that system where you're just like, you do have to progress relatively linearly through it, there are tiers, but you can do it at your own pace. Like, if I want to come back
Right.
a year later, that shit's still there. I can still get, whatever. Like,
Yep.
I really wish that, like, Fortnite had a system like that, because it would be really cool to
Get
be
some
able
of
to
the
finish
really
some battle
old
passes
shit
that I
that you
bailed
didn't
on.
get. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a question with that in mind. Would you guys rather have, because I think I'm on the page, I scheduled a tweet today on this topic, I would rather have a system like Modern Warfare Remastered did it fairly well. It was a little too grindy. It's always going to be easier to buy. And Gears of War had a very similar system where it was loot boxes, it was loot crates that you would buy and earn from, just progressing the game normally, maybe completing dailies and weeklies and monthlies and shit like that. You'd buy the crates, you get the shit from the crates. If there's duplicates, those duplicates would break down into credits. With those credits, you can craft the things that you want to get from the crate. You could directly craft that item. Like with Modern Warfare Remastered, it was kind of interesting. Like if you wanted the new weapon that they released, there would be like 6 things before that you had to craft. And once you craft or unlocked from crates all those 6 things, you would unlock the ultimate reward. So it would be like a profile picture and a banner and a weapon camo and a weapon charm, and then if you unlocked all those, then you would get the new shotgun. And I personally, I'd rather have that shit with a good balance of play to earn and like, fuck it, I'll spend $10, where you can craft shit and all that, over this seasonal content tier bullshit. I fucking cannot stand it. I'd rather have crates if they're done right.
If doing it the way that you're describing it, that doesn't really bother me so much. But again, it's really important that they nail how much like reward there is for junking an item. Because if they fuck that up and it's like a really, really bad grind, then that's just as bad as anything else.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to. Is like,
I think
developers need to find the right way to show players that they respect your time.
Exactly.
Because like you're saying, like, there's so much shit out right now that is worth playing. There's lots of and now you don't even have to spend money to play games that are really good.
Yeah.
There are free games
which
that are
just
super,
divides your
super
time
fun.
even more.
Exactly.
It's like it's good and bad.
So like it's so competitive. It's like it's so
I think one thing that I just remembered, because it wasn't like this for Modern Warfare Remastered, but with so Modern Warfare Remastered, if you got a duplicate, you didn't have a choice. It just immediately would be like, all right, here's the credits because you already have this item. Gears of War was actually something I liked a little bit better. And when I'm saying Gears of War, I don't even know, this must have been 4. But you could choose any item in the game that you got from those credits, even if it wasn't a duplicate. You're just like, well, I don't give a shit about the skin for that character because I never play her. You could fucking burn anything you wanted in the game into those credits. So it wasn't just duplicates. And I like that even more because it gives you the freedom of like, I don't have this already, but it's the rarest item that you can get out of these crates, and I don't play with that character or that weapon or whatever that it's specific to, so I'd rather just burn it for the 1,000 credits, you know what I mean, and craft the shit that I do like. That system I like a lot.
I think
see that.
That was also in Breakpoint. Was Breakpoint not like that? I thought that you
God, I have no recollection of any systems in Breakpoint.
Yeah, I don't know.
But to counter what you're trying to say, I actually like it when they kind of force you to have something. If you get something rare that is on a character you don't use very much, because when that happens to me, I always feel compelled then to try that out. And I might find myself in corners of a game that I normally wouldn't find myself.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I can see
So
that.
it kind of cuts both ways, though. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
So
I like it. It's good when a game has a sneaky way to get you to do something different than the way that you usually do it. Instead of feeling like, sometimes people try to ram a certain playstyle down your throat and it fucking sucks. And like, you don't like it at all. But something like that where it's like gently incentivized is nice.
there's something that we didn't talk about, because we all know that we had that big Disney Marvel multimedia event where they were releasing all of the new video games and whatnot. And then yesterday, was it like Brazil or Portugal? An Instagram account released the new splash photo for the new Iron Man game. 2 weeks after Disney Marvel had their huge fucking event, they finally officially said that there's an Iron Man game, but it's just a simple picture. You didn't see this, Andrew?
No, who fucking cares? I don't get out of bed for a photograph.
Motherfucker, what if they made an Iron Man game that was just as good as a fucking Spider-Man game?
They're great.
That I would play.
Can't wait to play it.
Give me guns. Give me rockets on my fingertips and shit. You know?
What was Prototype? That's the game series I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
What happened to that? What happened to those games? We need more prototypes. We need Infamous to come back. We need some of that shit. I would love to play games like that again.
Goofy shit?
Not necessarily goofy, but just like power fantasies, where you're
action games that don't take themselves too seriously.
Well, you're a superhero out fucking around in town. It's like
yeah.
Infamous was cool because
you mean like Crackdown 3, dude?
Shut up. Infamous was cool though because it also had like a good and bad side, so you could play. You could become a superhero basically or a supervillain.
Did you guys play through Crackdown 3?
No.
I wanted it to be good so bad, man. The nostalgia for the first game, and even the second, wasn't quite as good, but I wanted it to be good so bad. But I knew it was going to be dog shit whenever they I was at E3, I don't even know what year it was, and they're like, yeah, we, sit you down with my buddy he works from GameStop now. Anyways, sit me down with this guy, and we play Crackdown 3, like an early build. And I think the plan at that time was it was supposed to come out that holiday season or the beginning of the next year. And then it's 3 years later, Crackdown 3 is still not out, and I'm like, oh, this is. I played this shit, and I remember I broke it during my live play session. They were streaming it for E3, and I fell underneath the map or some shit. I was like, whoops, sorry guys, didn't mean to make you guys look like even more shit. But yeah, because remember when they first announced that game, they were hyping up the cloud-based. They were hosting the multiplayer level on the cloud was what they were explaining it as, and each fucking city block was a different element of the cloud, so they could have this crazy scaled destruction system where every fucking city, every building in the city was destructible, and they showed this huge demo for it and everything, and it looked fucking awesome. And then I don't even think there was multiplayer in the fucking final game, was there?
I fucking have no recollection. Any game that's in development hell that long is always it's going to come out.
Oh yeah, what collectors? What Crackdown fucking 3 collector's items is
he's
pulling
got
off the
Terry
wall?
Crews' head in a jar.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, is that a? Yeah, one of those spheres. That's cool.
God. One of those
it's an agility orb.
Power up orbs.
Yeah, the agility orbs.
You fucking nerd.
Actually,
I was so excited when I got this.
A perfect tie-in, though, to what you were just talking about. All that, server-side destruction and stuff.
Yeah.
That is a selling point for this new game that's coming out. It's going into alpha this week called The Finals.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah. It looks promising. I didn't know that was a selling point necessarily, but I mean, obviously from the trailer alone, you can tell that destruction is a big part of it.
It looks amazing. Just stuff people dropping floors of a house on somebody else, and objectives getting lost in the clutter of a collapsing building and stuff like this.
The selling point for the game for me is that they're not trying, because when I first started watching it, I'm like, oh, here's another fucking battle royale. What's the one that we all just Hyperscape?
Hyperscape, whatever we got that.
Here's Hyperscape 2.0. Yeah.
I do have all the
podcast is cursed.
So here's the deal. For the next, we have 15 minutes, and this 15 minutes we're gonna talk about some shit.
What have we been doing?
What do you guys think about the fucking the GTA 6 leaks? Huh? Do you think that everybody is justified in being salty at how shitty it looks? It's not coming out for another fucking 2 years, 3 years. It's a fucking.
Aside from it not being easy to just pull up like an official thread of all these leaks. I didn't dig too much. I watched like one very short clip of a female player outside of a like convenience store firing a pistol or something like that.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
And I watched that, and I was just like, yeah. I mean, it was kind of for the same reason I don't really watch trailers, and if I do watch trailers, I'll watch like the first 30 seconds, and as soon as like, yeah, I want to watch that, I turn it off. I don't want to see anymore. You know, and I think a lot of people's response was the same. They were like, fuck you for even leaking the shit. Like, let them, you know, obviously release it on their own time. Because, you know, I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know. I wasn't, like, concerned or anything. It's fucking in deep development. Who knows how old those clips are? It's fucking Rockstar. The first game made $6 bajillion. This one's gonna look good. It's going to look good. It's gonna be fucking idiots.
Every game looks like shit at some point in development. Like, who don't... Like, there's a whole portion of game development that is called finding the fun. Like, that's where you're just kind of building shit and trying to figure out, like, what it is about your systems that is actually, like, enjoyable. What the fuck is Joey doing? Has he got a hornet in there?
Yeah, he's got a
fucking murder wasp?
Probably is a fucking delivery.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of all these people, including myself.
Dude, and then it's like from 2019, like whatever build he got, like it said 2019.
Oh yeah. It's you know exactly what it's going to look like. Like, no, there shouldn't be anything that surprises you about any sort of leaked footage. It's just fucking people fucking around in the city, and there's guns and cars and crime. And that's every GTA game, and that's cool. And that's, of course, what is in this, like, little, you know, all these leaks and stuff. And it doesn't look very polished because it's not fucking done yet.
Yeah, they don't have, like, and all that, they're not applying the correct, like, cloth textures and everything else. GTA 5 looks fucking amazing. The
GTA 5 has also been out for, like, 12 fucking years at this point.
So. I know, but I started it up whenever it first came out, and then... Mm-hmm. I never played it again, and then I've recently been through it, and goddamn, is it not a really good fucking... I don't do the online shit, I just do, like, the main story stuff. And it's fucking great. It's so fucking polished. It's really good.
And 6 is going to be exactly the same. It's going to be just as polished, just as nice. I don't know, are people, like, worried because of how bad the remasters were? Is that where some of the concern is coming from?
Let's not forget that not only was GTA 5 just fine, it also launched in probably one of the most, like, complicated ways that it could have, because they launched it on 360 and PS4s, right? PS3s, and then it, like, less than a year later, I think, transitioned to the new consoles, and then had to transition to PC again, and GTA Online wasn't even a thing for the first however long.
Yeah.
And it was all fine. Like, the game looked fucking great. It's been totally fine. It played perfect on the old consoles. It got better as it came out on newer consoles, and everything was great. So,
yeah, I definitely understand being suspicious of, like, game companies now when they have a big AAA game coming out, especially a studio like this that doesn't release things very often. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but it's like the bar for quality for Rockstar is really high. Like, they're not gonna.
They set that themselves. They set
exactly.
They know the goals that they want to meet to make something like a Red Dead Redemption 2 or a.
That's what I was gonna say. Did
GTA 5?
Did Red Dead 2? Did that get delayed? I can't remember.
Oh, probably at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Rockstar is one of those that's really good about, like, hey, we recognize we're not quite where we needed to be for this release date that we set, so we're going to take a while. You know what I mean? And they're going to release the shit when it's ready.
Red Dead 2 also had the same thing where Red Dead Online came out much later.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
but they're also they're not the people to release something out in, like, fucking beta for a year until it's a finalized version, like a lot of games are doing now, where these are early access. And they're out for like a fucking year and a half in early access. You can still buy it and fucking play it, but it's in early access. Well, no, you guys just had to push it out there earlier to get some fucking money for it.
Yeah.
You didn't fully make the game like how some developers and publishers want games to be made. Take-Two with fucking the GTA series and everything. That's how they want to do things.
Well, and I think the gaming industry as a whole is starting to lean into that a little bit more, because they're probably seeing that from like the publisher and developer side of things. Like, hey, players don't like this, and like we were talking about earlier, there's so much shit coming out all the time. It's not like we need fucking GTA 6 to be out tomorrow. I think the majority of gamers these days are like, yeah, fucking, if I have to wait another 2-3 years to fucking play it, like, do I want to play it tomorrow? Yeah, but I'd rather wait until it's fully polished and ready to be dropped, so.
And even if it costs them fucking $20 billion, they're gonna fucking make it back.
Yeah.
they proved that with GTA 5. They proved that they will make ungodly amounts of fucking money.
Yep. I figured it out the other day. They're making I think it's like $3 million a day still off of fucking GTA 5, like shark card purchases and shit. So they're going to be all right. It's going to be okay. They've got enough money to make sure it's good before they drop it.
I'm disappointed that they're not going to do a Red Dead Redemption 2 remaster for the next gen consoles, because just even with like RTX and stuff, they could make it look even more prettier than it already looks. But I mean, yeah, you're not really adding much besides the graphical things. But
I would really like to play Red Dead 1 again as well. That would be really nice.
That's a game that needs a remaster. There's a lot of games that don't need a remaster that other devs and publishers are fucking forcing remasters of that they don't need to make. But
does Red Dead 1 still work on the Xbox, the current Xbox consoles? Is it part of their backwards compatibility slate?
That's how I played it, was on Xbox One. I don't know if it was the Series X or not, though, but I would assume that it does.
I think that they share the same, compatibility.
And luckily, it's one of those games that they still hold up enough where it's not super... there's some of those PS2 era games and shit, you put them in, you're like, this looks like shit, doesn't control worth a damn, I can't play it. But I feel like Red Dead 1, because I just played through that game the last few years for the first time, and it held up great. I played through the whole Undead Nightmare, or whatever the hell, too.
Yeah, the DLC extra disc. Yeah.
It's fantastic. And honestly, over Red Dead remasters and shit, dude, I'm just looking for a sequel to Bully. I think that would be...
So, did you actually see that there was a leak about potentially Bully being remastered?
I did see that, yeah.
Did you look into it?
I didn't look into why or anything. Wasn't it something with something that was like a filed, like a trademark or something, or no?
So, yes, there was that, but somebody released a bunch of in-game footage of the early access alpha shit.
Yeah.
But basically, all of the photos that were leaked of the Bully remaster or Bully 2 sequel, they basically all the people debunked it because they're like, anybody could make that in Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks' time. So that is not indicative of anything.
These days you can't trust shit because, I saw recently, I might have linked it to you guys, I don't know, but somebody completely rebuilt Simpsons Hit and Run in Unreal. Yeah. And it looked he rebuilt the first mission. The entire town and everything was fully finished and the first mission was playable. He went into Quickie Mart and did all the shit and it looked fantastic. So yeah, these days you can't trust anything you fucking see.
That's true. I mean, that project is its own specific thing though, because that guy has been working on that for fucking years.
True.
And also,
but the capabilities are there.
He's even gone through and redrawn all of the textures. Not AI upscaled them, redrawn them.
Yeah.
It's that remake has a ton of labor involved in it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. I hate this fucking industry now, man. It's fucking stupid. We're just going to remake and remaster all the games that don't need one.
You know what, though?
The ones that need one, we're not going to do.
I feel like it's better than the film industry currently, at least. Because they're doing the same shit, but it's even more lame. 90% of the shit that comes out is just the same rehashed bullshit. But with gaming, at least you can, I don't know, I feel like there's a gem here and there where movies maybe not quite as much.
Well, the 13 remaster wasn't any good, was it?
The what?
They remastered the remaster, and now it's better.
13 or whatever that one is?
Oh, yeah. No, I couldn't even finish the fucking Let's Play that I started on that shit. I don't even remember what happened now. The game was fucking broken.
You know that they did just come out with a remaster of that remaster.
Are you fucking serious? How?
I'm not kidding. I don't know how they did it. Like, I don't know if it costs more or if, like, you get it because you bought the other one or whatever, but it's like... They redesigned some of the graphics. It's just, like, lots of little tweaks.
How do they redesign the graphics on that shit? It's, like, half-assed cel-shaded.
They made it look slightly better cel-shaded. It still
and people were
look
pissed
good.
about that, yeah. Like, whatever they did to the graphics, people are like, no, we like the original better.
Oh, here's...
That's, like... Because that's a really important... That's a really important stylistic choice, but... Yeah.
Right.
So, in that ilk, though, did you guys see that... Are you guys Borderlands fans at all?
I've
So.
played it, but yeah.
The multiplayer was good on the second one, I think. It was fun to fuck around with people.
It's fun to play in co-op, yeah.
But Tiny Tina, Tales from the Wonderlands or whatever, they're making a franchise out of that, supposedly, because that did so well. So they're actually going to make other games off of that, supposedly, or side projects. I don't know.
But Tiny Tina is essentially just a Borderlands game, right? But with, like, a fantasy veneer.
A fantasy veneer, and then everything is kind of like you're playing D&D. So your overworld is a D&D map and board, yeah.
Okay. I was like, what's the point of doing that? It sounds like it's just the same thing, but with a slightly different skin on it.
It's one of those shooter-looters. Keep collecting, keep upgrading your gear, so that way you can collect higher gear, like fucking Destiny 2.
Speaking of that, what do you guys think about Modern Warfare 2 having Destiny-like raids? Is this something that titillizes your titties?
That's an interesting proposition.
Yeah, because I have no fucking clue, as a casual Destiny player and a pretty hardcore Call of Duty player, I don't really know what that could mean specifically, but I'm interested.
I think that to get a point of reference, you should probably not actually look at the raids in Destiny and probably look at, what the fuck is the name of that game? It's an Ubisoft game, it's a Tom Clancy licensed game.
Breakpoint?
No.
Wildlands?
No, it starts with a D, I think. The District.
Oh yeah, District, yeah.
That's not what it's called, though, right? It's got a different name.
But they're coming out with a second one of those.
Division. The Division.
Yeah. They're coming out with Division, too.
So Division has raids in it, also, that are similar.
I played quite a bit of Division with the homies.
They're like kind of Destiny light raids. The thing about Destiny raids is that they're really, really, like, navigation is hard. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, like, just finding how to get from point A to point B in a dungeon is, like, pretty difficult and has, like, a lot of platforming challenges to it. And this whole time you're solving elaborate puzzles and doing all this crazy shit too, fighting these really elaborate, like, multi-phase bosses that have, like, you know, raid groups in Destiny, your normal fire team is 3 people, but raid groups are 6. And if everybody doesn't know what they're doing, it's going to be a fucking nightmare.
It's herding cats. Yeah, Destiny 2 playing with you is fun, doing all those things. We got the Rat King, though. That was a fun, unique thing we did, but the raids were fucking... We did like 2 or 3 raids, and like I could not keep up, because I had no idea what the fuck to do.
You have to watch like a YouTube tutorial, basically. Unless you're one of the, you know, one of the 2 or 3 guilds that is always at the vanguard of breaking one of these raids open, because the puzzles are so complex and there's just so many mechanics and so much shit going on.
I like to think, because Call of Duty is known as like the arcade shooter, that these raids and this new DMZ mode are going to be like a much more casual arcade approach to these things. But having seen how they've done the fucking like weapon system and shit, who knows? maybe you'll have to watch a fucking tutorial and take a 40-hour-a-week class to understand.
That's the thing is, like, when I heard that they were going to have raids, Destiny-style raids, God, that's such a dangerous way to
I like the way that because when I think about the raids in the Division, it's totally different. Because I've played alongside some friends in Division, or in Destiny raids, and yeah, they're totally different now that I think about it. It's more just like a co-op, like a Spec Ops mission or some shit, probably. It's going to be some
is there going to be like a full
but how they do the loot... Right. How they do the loot and everything is going to be what's interesting to me. Like, am I going to give a shit as like to drop in and fucking play, Capture the Flag or TDM or S&D multiplayer guy? Am I going to give a fuck about these raids and the loot and stuff?
But it's like when I heard those words come out, it's like my brain received them the same way as somebody saying, like, there's going to be magic in the new Call of Duty. I'm like, that's a lie. That's not true. You're not going to have Destiny raids in the new Call of Duty. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, sure, you might have some cool PvE activity that you can do as a group, and that's fine, but don't, like, those raids are very specific. Don't invoke that shit. Like, there's no way you're going to be able to back it up.
You'd have to have a complete overworld and different areas to go to, because in some of the D2 raids, you'd have to, like, start off on whatever planet, fly to another planet.
But they're going to have they're going to have the map for Battle Royale. And that's what they do whenever they do this. The way that they've been doing a lot of shit, seems to me, is that they're kind of like, they make a Warzone map, and there's, like,
certain
crash site.
Unique areas.
There's like, they put a little more man areas into this one area. You can kind of tell. And you're like, oh shit, this is going to come out as like a fucking DLC map pack for Christmas. This is going to be like a new map for just multiplayer. So they could take something, a grand scale map, and make some sort of where you have to like move from here to there to there to there and go along different raids to get to unlock further ones and shit.
Escort the hostage. Hova has killed the hostage.
I would
Raid failed.
You would never repeatedly do that on purpose.
You'd also never turn the TV on and off and fucking Phasmophobia over and over again like fucking 50 goddamn thousand times. That shit.
Oh, that was the funnest thing about that game. I'm sorry, I have fucking ADD. That's the only thing I enjoy doing in that game.
We gotta wrap this up because I gotta go get my kid.
Gotta go take a shit!
I gotta go pick my kid up and then drop some kids off at the pool. You know what I'm talking about.
Just gotta go rescue that kid from the fucking street rats, dude.
Yeah,
Pizza rat.
The pizza rats are just... That's all... Living in New York City is just a daily struggle of trying to keep your kids from being eaten.
It's mainly now... It's mainly now me walking my dog and trying to keep her from, like, fighting the rats.
You guys got Casey Neistat back, too, so congrats on that.
I don't...
That's cool.
So now when it snows, you can go just wait in the streets for him to go by on a snowboard. That'll be fun.
Oh, that'll be great.
Hey, Frank's early Christmas present. I saw
Grateful Dead Crocs.
Yeah, we saw those tie-dye Crocs and we were like, shit, we gotta pick some of those up for Frank.
Sad.
Had to do it. Frank came over. I gave him like fucking 6 presents. I don't know what happened.
Dude paid out better than dumb as fuck.
Thank you to Javelin for letting us use your theme. So Popensky. The sweet little ditty about Jack and Diane.
Little ditty. Dude, that's fucking weird because I referenced that before you got here when it was just Frank and I. So I don't know what's happening right now, but...
John Cougar Mellencamp is never far from my thoughts.
You know his real name was not John Cougar Mellencamp? He actually
was John
changed...
Puma Mellencamp.
Stop.
It was John Mellencamp.
It changed it to fucking get more views.
John
Nut.
Yeah, I hear you.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler TFO, for the artwork.
Yes. Ton.
Thanks.
Who's got a word here?
I guess the word's nut. Or is it...